morning. Thank you all for being here. This is an important day in the life of a Christian as we begin these 40 days of Lent leading up to Easter. Originally, this season was designed to help those who are coming into the church proceed through the conversion process, and it is also a time for all Christians to take up the task of ongoing conversion in their life. And so that is why in the Archdiocese we have a special emphasis with the Festival of Forgiveness, in which there will be 24 parishes offering the Sacrament of Reconciliation for 24 hours. And it allows us to highlight not only how reconciliation is important in each one of our lives, but how reconciliation is important in the life of any community, of any city, of any organization in which we really do see so often it is frayed because of divisions and violence, and also the sinfulness that plagues the human heart. So it's an opportunity for us to give a witness to society at large about the need for reconciliation and healing in our midst. And I'm just very pleased to be a part of the celebration here at St. Peter's, where there will be over 20,000 people coming today for the celebration of Ash Wednesday. And that will be mirrored throughout the Archdiocese, where we believe well over 1 million people will receive ashes, and throughout the country, millions of others will receive ashes, not only in the Catholic community, but in the other Christian denominations as well. So I'm pleased now to take any of your questions, and I'm so pleased that you're here so very early.
How do you explain the lack of people going for reconciliation? It's fallen off in recent years, well, not just recent years, but in the last 10, 20 years, fewer and fewer people seem to be going to reconciliation.
Well, they seem to be going less frequently, and I think that that really is true. It's an opportunity like this, however, in which we can make it very available and accessible, and hopefully people, by returning to the sacrament, will see the benefits of it. I personally receive the Sacrament of Reconciliation on a regular basis and have found it over the many years as a priest and a bishop to be a very important moment to offer me a barometer of being honest with myself. And I think people deep down do want to be honest with themselves, and the Sacrament of Reconciliation is an opportunity for that to happen.
Sir, we followed you very closely since November 18th, and sorry it's an occupational hazard. We're going to continue to do that for the foreseeable future.
Well, I'm getting to call all of you great friends, so thank you. It's good. I would feel a bit lonely, and I think I'd have withdrawal symptoms if you weren't around.
Well, we've marked a lot of firsts for you since November 18th, and I'm sure each one is important and special in its own way. How do you feel embarking upon this one in particular, your first the Ash Wednesday Mass as leader of the Catholic Church in Chicago?
Well, the Christian faith is all about entering into the dying and rising of Christ. And this season is the particular moment in the life of the church, in our liturgy, but also in our spirituality, where we do that. So for me, it is the highlight of what I do as a bishop. In the 4th chapter of Luke's Gospel, Jesus begins his ministry, his inaugural ministry, by standing before the people and announcing the call of Isaiah, in which he comes to heal the broken hearts, to proclaim good news. And I think that is a very good point of reference for any bishop who stands before a community when he begins his ministry, to look to how Jesus did it. And so the season of Lent is that moment to do that.
For the next 40 days, you've lived in Chicago long enough to kind of understand the dynamics of politics, the issues that we're dealing with. For the next 40 days, how do you want Chicago Catholics to experience the Lent season? What is the takeaway? How can we reflect on God and live our lives to the fullest?
Well, there is a political dimension to our faith in the sense that politics has at its root the word polis, which means people. And we begin this season with the call of Isaiah to make sure that we don't turn our back on people, that we shelter the homeless, that we share some of our bread with the hungry, that we make sure that those who are oppressed, their burdens are lightened, and those who are shackled be set free. So it is very much a part of how we live our lives in the broader community. And that kind of witness does have an impact on society. We can change the culture, we can change society by that kind of witness. And my hope would be that our voice in the public square would be emphasized as people see the good that is being done in this season of Lent by people of faith. That is a compelling way in which the gospel is preached, not necessarily with words, but by actions.
May I jump off of that point there and ask you, what has been your biggest obstacle and your biggest challenge that you've come across so far? You've been around long enough to see the way things work here.
I would like to have 10 days in a week rather than 7. I think it's just a matter of being able to find the time to address the many requests that I receive for time on my calendar and to be present with people. I know that I've entered not a sprint but a marathon, and I have to be patient with myself. But it is clear to me that there are people who have many genuine requests for time and my attention, and I just hope that I can get over the frustration of not being able to accept all of those invitations. I'm gratified by that, but I would say that the obstacle is just living in a very time-constrained environment, particularly with the number of requests for my time.
Do you think the number of requests for your time, sorry Bernie, this is quick, do you think it's a reflection of there being somebody new in your particular position? Is it a product of the office, or is it a product of Catholics, and perhaps Catholics who have parted ways with the church being ready to come back?
Well, I think part of it is due to the newness, new face in town. But I know that the Cardinal as well had just as many requests. He learned, of course, over 17 years how to deal with that, and I think it's a matter of taking time to do that. I spoke to him just about how he handled his own schedule and calendar, and I think that he is an individual who had perhaps learned a discipline that I still need to learn myself how to do that. Part of it, too, is making sure that when requests come in for various decisions, that I have the right team in place so that I can delegate to people how to handle various issues. And that, of course, comes only with time. And I'm very pleased with the people that I have around me, and I continue to look at ways in which I can expand those human resources.
It sounds though, because this is the 3-month anniversary of the installation, that things are going at breakneck speed for you, that it's just kind of rushing by. Is that pretty much the case?
Well, I wouldn't say breakneck speed. There is a rapid pace. Every day is full. I do take a day off, however, and I know that I have to recharge my energies. But I also, when I do go to a place, a parish, we had the 6 Vicariate Masses, I want to make sure that enough time is scheduled to really be with people. I don't want to just rush in and out. I try to take my time with people. People stop me on the street or sometimes in the airport after Mass, and I try to take time to be with each person rather than just rush off. One of the things that I've missed as a bishop in these last almost 20 years is not having my own parish community where I can get to know people. And I've come to the conclusion that my parish really consists of all of those people who stop me on the street, who want to talk after church, to ask for a prayer for someone who's sick, to tell me that someone's in the hospital, and then I go and visit them. So those are my parishioners, and I have found that for me is a very healthy way to approach ministry, because I do miss not having a parish community as such. They are my community.
When you talk about also this 24 festival,
Yes.
the Festival of Forgiveness, I was told that even non-Catholics are welcome to come to this. Does that go along with the same theme of Pope Francis, is trying to say we're welcoming everybody?
Right. We want people who are hurting, who are in need of healing, who need attention in their own life, to bring about a spirit of reconciliation, to come and join us. Because it is not just an issue even for people of faith. We all as human beings find that our lives are fragmented, that they're torn apart. And just to sit with someone and to receive a blessing, to have someone pray with you, can be very healing. And so we do want to invite people of all faith backgrounds to be a part of this festival of forgiveness and reconciliation, to experience the mercy of God. But then also leaving that experience of God's mercy to show mercy and forgiveness to others.
The governor's budget's going to be coming out today, and it supposedly includes $1.5 billion in cuts to Medicaid. How do you see that impacting the poorest among us, and what the state what you think the state should be doing?
Well, I want to see what the budget actually says. We have always emphasized that those who are most in need in our society today should be the last to have any impact on any budget cuts. Our Catholic charities, our parishes, the religious communities of men and women have an outreach to the poor and the needy, the homeless, the hungry, each and every day. And some of that is supported by government funds simply because all of those agencies do a terrific job each and every day to make sure that those services are provided. So my hope would be that any refashioning of the budget would put first and foremost those who are most at risk in society. We need to make sure there is a safety net for those who are at risk, and my hope would be that any eventual legislation with regard to the budget would make that a priority.
You spoke briefly
Archbishop,
about
you have time for one more question.
We have Mass, I guess, in a bit.
you
Yes.
spoke briefly about your conversations with Cardinal George. How is he? Will we be seeing him today?
Thank you for asking, and I know that he would be happy to know that people are asking and concerned about him. I had dinner with him this last weekend. He's a remarkable individual. He does have, of course, as he said, good and bad days. He has pretty good strength in the morning. It wanes as time goes on. As you know, the treatments have ended, and he is receiving care to take care of any discomfort and pain. And he just asks that people continue to pray for him. But he was his regular, very energetic self, very involved in a conversation that we had, and a sharp mind and a willing spirit to talk about the issues of the day. And I really came away from that very encouraged to see that while his body is suffering a great deal, his spirit is so very strong. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, and please know my best to you in these 40 days for your own families as well. Good. Thank you.